Hey everybody, it's Derek with the Swarm here, bringing you the Week 4 edition of the CWL picks, assured to be wrong. This week I have Kwei, a co-leader from OneHive with me. How you doing today, Kwei?
Good. Thanks for having me on. I'm pretty excited to do some predictions. I've never done something like this before, so.
Well, hopefully you can do a little bit better than Brady. For those wanting a recap of last week, I did beat him. I went 7-7, so living up to the series title here, and he went 5-9, so he took that to a whole nother level. Just some kind of starting off the Dark Looters War. They were scheduled to face Beast Mode this week. We know the Lost are replacing Beast Mode. This time we did not know if that war's happening this week or like if it's happening later, so we're not going to be picking that matchup. And as always, Kwei from OneHive will not be picking the OneHive matchup, and I will not be picking the Swarm matchup, but we will pick each other's matchups there. We'll jump right on into it. First up, the first matchup of the week, we have Clantanamo Bay taking on Faked Wargasm. On this one, Clantanamo Bay is sitting at 2-1, and Faked Wargasm is also at 2-1. Who do you want to take in this one, Kwei?
Oh wow, that's a pretty tough pick for the first matchup. I think both clans are looking pretty good right now.
Clantanamo Bay coming off of a 3-star loss to War Whales last week, and Faked Wargasm coming off of a 5-star loss to Spartan's Legacy. So losing to two of the top clans in the entire league. So nothing wrong with that. Both are very solid.
I think I'm gonna go with Clantanamo Bay for this one. I think it's definitely a coin flip, but I think Clantanamo Bay had a much better score against War Whales than Faked Wargasm did against Spartan's Legacy. So
I'm going to agree with you there. I think Clantanamo Bay takes this one. They've just performed really strong against a lot of really strong teams this season. I think they'll take this one and win it and improve to 3-1 and sending Faked Wargasm down to 500 on the season. Next up, we have Power COC sitting at 1-2, facing Swy Cck Cat, who is coming off their second straight win. So pretty impressive performance. They got that up against Killer Bunnies. Just a 1-star victory, but still getting over 500 is a nice accomplishment early in the season. Who do you want in this one?
There's another tough call for this one. I think I'm gonna go with Swy Cck Cat for this week. I think they've just been a little bit stronger than Powercock over the last 3 weeks combined. And I think, even though I believe SK lost their first week, right?
They did.
To Spartan's Legacy. I think overall they're still probably one of, probably near the top tier of clans in the Invite League. So I think they're going to beat Powercock.
Yeah, I agree. I think that losing to Spartan's Legacy, I think, was just kind of a, hey, you're getting used to this style of format. I know they had played, Swy Cck Cat had played well up against some of the teams from Season 1 in the off-season, but I'm sure, Spartan's Legacy, their base building is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm sure that Swy Cck Cat was sitting there scratching their head quite a bit, but they've come out with 2 strong performances since then, and I think they're just kind of a clan that's on the rise, and they're going to really kind of, with Beast Mode falling out of it, have the chance to really take over their division, and I think it continues in with a week 4 victory.
Yeah, I agree.
So next, I think we have maybe a matchup that I didn't know who to pick. If this would have come up in week 3, I wouldn't have known who to pick, and with the results in week 3, I think it's even more confusing. We have Elite Gaming, who upset. I would definitely call that an upset on percentage. Immoral Thieves and Colt September, who went from not being able to field a roster in week 2 to beating OneHive 2.0 in week 3. I think this is just probably going to be one of the great matchups this week, and I really had a hard time picking this one. So I made you pick the last two. I'll go ahead and go with my pick. I am going to take Cold September. I think that just with kind of the people they have going on, they were able to mesh really well and pick up a victory up against a OneHive 2.0 squad that I definitely think is pretty strong squad. Elite Gaming, I mean, they just came down to a percentage victory, and then they've had kind of two decent losses with the 2-star loss to Buy Forever and the 3-star loss to Swy Cck Cat. But I just think Cold September is kind of bouncing back a little bit, and they're gonna pick up another win here.
Hmm. I mean, I definitely what you're saying about Cold September, but I think my pick for this one, I'm going to pick Elite Gaming. I think it's definitely a close one, and both clans probably showed a lot of promise after last week's performance. But I think I'm not totally convinced yet that Cold September is going to be consistent week to week, and I think that Elite Gaming is at least showing a upwards trajectory. So I think just because they have a more stable maybe roster at this point, I think Cold September is definitely on the way up. But I just have that feeling. I'm going to go with Elite Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it was very interesting. I know I was very shocked to see they won. No offense to them or anything. Just Immoral Thieves, heck, they had a 9v10 triple in week 2, and then to lose to Elite Gaming following that up was a little bit of a surprise. I think that a lot of people thought they were one of the clans that was kind of knocking on the door of that upper echelon. And Elite Gaming said, "Not today." Took them out.
Yeah. That was probably one of the biggest upsets from week 3.
So, next up, we have a war that could be. I mean, I haven't looked at everything yet, but could be considered for the war of the week. PWC, the 2-1 PWC squad, coming in against the 1-2 Kcha squad. But I mean, a lot of hype was around Kcha, and they haven't performed kind of up to those expectations yet. But they had a very strong performance in week 3. Got their first win against a very strong WHF squad. So I'll go ahead and let you take the lead in this one as who you want.
Yeah. I think this one I'm taking PWC. I think even though I was very impressed by Concha's win over WHF, I watched the end of the PWC war last weekend, and they are really good. Like the attacks that they were putting at the end were pretty amazing, and I think they put up 114 stars to beat War and Glory, who put up 113. I think even though they both got a win last week, I think PWC is just right now on another level than Kcha is. But
yeah,
I mean, you never know. You never know with Kcha. So I'm
yeah,
gonna say PWC.
I mean, that's why we play the game. It's not one on paper, so you never know what can happen. And sometimes you kind of worry. I know Kcha does those earlier starts than the rest of the Invite League, and maybe they get that kind of knock PWC off their game a little bit. I don't think that's going to be enough. I think PWC is, once again, one of those clans knocking on the door to be in the upper echelon, tier 1 clans, I guess you'd call them. And I think they win this. As I said last week, I have a few friends in PWC, so I'll be kind of rooting for them from the sidelines. They didn't let me down last week, getting a big win over War and Glory. And I mean, their only loss came to the Swarm, and I know I'm going to be a little bit biased here, but we're a pretty good squad, so there's not too much bad with that one. So next up we have 6 Schlitzes coming off of a loss to the Swarm, dropping to 2-1, and Mariana Trench, who dropped to 0-3 on the season, very surprising with a loss to Reddit Omega. I'll go ahead and start this one off. I think you did the last one here. I'm taking 6S in this one. I just think that Mariana Trench is in a bad spot. Seeing some of their performances, seeing some of their hit rates, they got to sort that out a little bit before I'll feel comfortable picking them. 6S, I just saw them. They had some pretty great bases. They had a nice performance against the Swarm. Like, wasn't ideal, but I think they're just a little bit, a little bit better of a clan right now than what they're facing in Mariana Trench.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you there on this one. I think I'm going to take 6 Schlitzes as well this week. I've just been really surprised that Mariana Trench is 0-3 right now this season. I mean, you think they were one of the best clans probably from season 1, and I'm not sure if there was like roster changes or something happened maybe in Mariana Trench or what's going on, but they're definitely it seems like a different clan than what was what was in the season 1 playoffs.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think right now Six Lights has always been really consistent as a clan the past couple months. So I think I'm going to go with them. I think it's the safe pick.
I agree. I do think you're right. I'm not sure what happened to that squad, if they lost some people or kind of what went on, because it seemed just like a clan that might have been able to compete for a title in season 2, and then starting out the gates, the wheels have kind of fallen off for them. We hope they can fix that. I mean, I certainly hope they can fix that soon. I'm sure you would probably, being in the same division as them, hope they can fix it maybe a little bit later than I'd like to see. But
yeah, and I do want to say though that even though they are 0-3, I think they are one of those teams that on their good day they could compete with any clan. Like I know they have some really talented attackers there.
mm-hmm.
Maybe things just aren't quite clicking for them, but it's one of those things where it's like it's not one of those clans you want to face at all. Like if you're going to face an 0-3 clan, you don't want to face Mariana Trench. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're probably the strongest 0-3 clan, and I mean maybe by just kind of at a weak spot right now. Maybe at the end of the season, you'd be sitting there saying these are the guys I least want to face. But right now, maybe they're just a little off their mojo, and it's a little nicer. So this next matchup, you won't be picking. It's the OneHive Emphatic Elite matchup, and I mean, I definitely think it's a surprise team of the league. You guys will be facing this week in Emphatic Elite. And if you would have found anybody who would have picked EE to be 3-0 to start off this season, I'm pretty sure you'd found a liar. They've just, I mean, especially coming into the season, they've beaten North Watchers, Mariana Trench, and then, unfortunately, my upset pick of the week was for Reddit Alchemy to upset them, but that didn't happen. You guys coming off a very tough loss. Who was it to? DLZ, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But I think this is where their undefeated magic ends. I think they're just going up against OneHive is going to be too much for them to handle. I think you guys proved a 3-1, dropped them to 3-1, and the little kind of nice start to the season picks up a loss right before heading into the bye.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go on to the next one here. Annihilate, coming off of a loss to North Watchers, the 0-3 Annihilate squad, taking on Midwinters, who had a nice little surprising victory in Week 3 against Tactical Inc. Maybe not surprising so much, but they were 0-2, so they did get that win last week. Who do you want to take in this one?
This one's a tough call. I think I'm gonna go with Midwinters simply because they got the win last week. We faced Annihilate, I believe, and OneHive did in week 2.
Yeah. Came away with a nice victory there, a 7-star win.
Yeah, but they were pretty solid as well, especially their Town Hall 9. So I think it'll be a close one, but I think Midwinters is going to be feeling good after their win, get some confidence back, and I think Annihilate just isn't quite ready to get that first win yet. But it's a tough call for this one as well. But I think it's Midwinters.
So I really want to pick Midwinters here, and I love everything you're saying. I think they are. I just think this is the time Annihilate gets it together. They've coming off of the two really tough losses to OneHive and then to North Watchers, and it's kind of my not my upset pick because that's going to be a little bit later. But I think that they'll go ahead and get this win, get their first win of the season. They'll be a little extra motivated. No one wants to go in. Everyone wants to go into the bye with a win, especially if you're sitting at 0-3. You're going to want to do that, and I think Annihilate comes out with a really nice performance and gets this W.
Nice. I could see that definitely. It's like that thing like one of these weeks they're gonna win one, you know. So like,
Yeah.
I think this is definitely a good opportunity facing Midwinters. So yeah. Nice.
I would agree. I think these coin flip games where they can go either way, they definitely I think it's time one of those coin flips comes their way and they go ahead and get this win. Next up, we have arguably, you know, one of the best, if not the best, squads in the league. War Whales taking on OneHive
Yep.
2.0. I'm just kind of taking the obvious pick here. I'm going with War Whales. They're kind of just on another level from 2.0, and I don't know. Those guys are just killing it, so I have to give them respect. I'll probably pick them, and unless they were to start losing a bunch. Yeah, not much you can say there.
Yeah. I mean, nothing against 2.0, but I think just War Whales is probably the strongest clan in the league right now. I think they seem to be clicking on all cylinders, and I mean, they just seem unstoppable right now, to be honest. So I think, yeah. I'm gonna go with War Whales too. Yeah, there's nothing much to say. Like they're just that good.
They're just on that level where you just don't have a lot to say. Next up, a battle of kind of the bottom dwellers here. We have two 0-3 squads. So the nice thing, somebody's going to get their first win of the season, and we have North Remembers versus the team that I say has the best name in the CWL, the Killer Bunnies. If they had to play up on, if it was just name alone, they would be undefeated this season, in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and take North Remembers in this one. I think they'll come out and get this W. They had a close showing up against OneHive 2.0. One of their 11s happened to not show up, so they kind of lost a couple attacks there. But I think they're kind of due. Maybe a little homer bias as being in the North family, but so I'm just going to go with them. But I think it's going to be a pretty close war that comes down to 1 or 2 stars.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely going to be a close war. I agree with you on that, but I'm going to go Killer Bunnies for this one. I think Killer Bunnies had a pretty close war against Swy Cck Cat last week, who I think is a really good clan.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to take it this way. I think they're going to take it one step higher and beat North Remembers. But this is one of those matchups where it's like I want both teams to win, to get the first W. So I'm going to go with Killer Bunnies, I think.
I can't really falter there. It's tough seeing a couple 0-3 squads. The nice thing is one of them will get a win. I know North Remembers has been in quite a pickle with some off-season transactions, but I'm hoping they can right the ship here, get into the bye on a win. As I was saying earlier, I think it's very important for a lot of these teams that are either sitting with only one win or no wins to get this first win, and at least you can go into the bye week on a good, positive note.
Yeah, definitely.
Prior to the Elite Gaming upset of Immoral Thieves, I definitely thought this would have been the War of the Week. Immoral Thieves taking on Spartan's Legacy. Immoral Thieves is 2-1, and Spartan's Legacy is sitting at that wonderful 3-0. Who do you want to take in this one, Kwei?
I think even though I still think Immoral Thieves is a great clan, even though they lost to Elite Gaming, I think just Spartan's Legacy is just too strong right now. I think we were talking about War Whales earlier as probably the best, most impressive clan in the league so far. I think Spartan's Legacy is probably right behind them with Dark Looters. And I mean, Spartan's Legacy is just consistent every week.
Yeah.
And they've beaten some good clans and put up some really good scores. So I think Immoral Thieves has the upset potential. They are really good. But I think Spartan's Legacy is not the clan that's going to get upset this week. So
I agree. I'm also taking Spartan's Legacy. I think they're that tier one clan, one of the tier one clans I've been talking about with War Whales, Dark Looters, OneHive, the Swarm, and kind of that group of clans. I think PWC is about to break into that as well. And when you're in that position, and you face a clan like this, like Immoral Thieves, I definitely think they're a great clan. You could beat a ton of clans on any given week. But Spartan's Legacy is I just can't see them losing this one. Their base building, their attacking, everything is so great in that clan. I think it's kind of weird because I think a lot of people definitely give them a lot of respect, but I think they're a little bit underrated. I mean, they're second in the league in average differential. So they're not just winning, they're winning by a lot in all their wars. And I think and they did face the Swy Cck Cat in week 1, so they have a couple impressive victories. That's I think that's why I'm just going to take them. They're good.
Yeah, they're good.
They're good. So it's kind of one of those picks here. So next up, we do have the 1 and 2 Buy Forever. I had Buy Forever winning last week. Unfortunately, they didn't get that done for me against the 1 and 1 Bada Bing clan. Bada Bing clan is the clan that didn't face beast mode last week. So they kind of coming off a little bye before the league wide bye. I'll let you lead the last one. I'll go ahead. I'm gonna stick with my Buy Forever pick. One of these times they're gonna be right. I'm kind of betting on either when they win or when people from Buy Forever start coming to me and say, "Quit picking us." Like, we keep losing when you do. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them. I think they get to 2 and 2 on the season. Maybe Bada Bing clan's a little rusty with having the off week.
All right. So yeah, I think this is a tough pick. I think either clan or neither clan, I guess, has really done anything to convince me one way or the other. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, so I'm gonna go with Buy Forever as well. I think they at least had a war last week, so I think they might be a little bit more in the zone than Bada Bing clan. They might be a little bit rusty after 2 weeks off, right? So, I'm gonna go with Buy Forever. I think they've had some tough wars so far, but I think they have the more winning potential, I think, than Bada Bing clan, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, I definitely think they kind of stumbled. Power COC is a really good clan, but they they lost on stars. They lost by 1 star, but they did have almost 2% more in total destruction. So they're getting it done. It's just not necessarily where those stars need to be placed. What that kind of is saying to me is that they're very close. They're knocking on that door, and I think they will get it done. But I agree with you. I mean, both clans are kind of an enigma so far. I just wanted to pick them again because I thought they wouldn't let me down.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't let you down again.
Hopefully, I'm sure they're hoping the same thing.
The
Bada Bing clan folks who watch this will be sitting there like, they're gonna let you down again. But the next up, I won't be picking this matchup. We have the Swarm at 3-0 taking on Tactical Inc., who sits at 1 and 2. Tactical Inc. is the clan they lost to Midwinters in week 3, and they picked up a win in week 1 was their win. They upset Kcha or beat Kcha. So it's all you, Kwei.
All right. So I think this one, I'm definitely taking the Swarm. I think Tactical Inc. was one of the clans I thought would be really good this season. I mean, they did very well in season 2. I'm forgetting the name of the league. Mid-season. They did really well in the mid-season last season, and I thought they would be really good. And so far this season, they just have not lived up to the hype, I guess. And I think a lot of people thought they would be good too. But their only win being Kcha, which is kind of a question mark still, I think isn't that impressive, and losing the past 2 weeks in a row, is not going to do it for me. And I think the Swarm is another one of those clans that's up there in the top tier. I mean, I think every week the Swarm is just seems like they're just crushing people every week. So
yeah, well, I'll try not to put in my bias. That's pretty clear if you've ever seen anything of my
I'm
content.
looking
but
through the scores now. You guys beat Success by 7 stars. Week 2, you guys beat WHF by 4 stars, and that was the week you guys had like 8 10v10s, right?
No, that we only had 5 in week 2. We had 8 in week 1 up against PWC.
PWC,
that was it.
And
But
you guys beat PWC. Yeah, I mean, still 5 is still a lot. So,
yeah,
I think you guys are just too good right now as well. So I'm going with the Swarm.
I'm sure we all appreciate that. You'll get some nice love in our chats when this comes out and they hear that one. Next up, we have War and Glory, who came off a very hard fought loss to PWC, and then your last week opponent for Dark Looters Z, or Zed for our Canadian audience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Dark Looters Z wins. I knew they were really good. I knew they were a very good clan. When they came out and beat you guys last week, they definitely perked up my ears. It's about, wow, this clan is on a kind of that different level. So I just think they're a clan that's playing very strong right now. I think they'll beat War and Glory, and I honestly think it'll be a little bit of a blowout, like a 5 or more star victory for DLZ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go agree with you on this one. I think we just faced DLZ and we didn't even take them lightly. We knew they were gonna be really good, and we still got blown out. I think they were even better than than we thought they were going to be, and we already thought they were going to be good.
Yeah.
So I think being that feeder sister clan of Dark Looters kind of makes them the dark horse of the season. But I honestly think, based on what I saw last week, that they should be in the conversation of the top clans in the league, and just especially their base building, I think, caught us way off guard. They had some really, really tough Town Hall 10 bases. And I mean, maybe War and Glory will be a little bit more prepared this week, but I still don't see them beating Dark Looter Z. I wouldn't be surprised if it was close, but also wouldn't be surprised if it was not close as well, because I think it really just depends on whether War and Glory makes it close or not, because I think Dark Looter Z is going to put up a very consistent performance, probably similar to last weekend. So I'm going to go with Dark Looter Z. Yeah.
I agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised if it was close. I just think that it's not going to be. Nothing against War and Glory. I just think they're going up against a clan that has thoroughly surprised me this season. I knew they would be good, but I didn't think they would be as good as they are. That's saying something. When you carry that Dark Looter's name, there's a certain level of skill we expect you to have, and they're surprising me anyways. So next up, we have North Watchers coming off their first win of the season, taking on Reddit Omega, coming off of their second win of the season, beating a Mariana Trench squad. North Watchers beat Annihilate last week. Let you lead the way. You've seen Reddit Omega already this season.
Yeah.
So who you feeling? Who's going to come out on Sunday night with a W?
I think I'm going to go with a little bit of an upset, I think, and I'm going to take North Watchers this week. I think I like the North Watchers clan. I like the North family, and I think they're going to really put a good performance in. I just kind of it's one of those intangible feelings, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I think Reddit Omega is really good. Don't get me wrong. And they've put up some good performances, but I think they can be a little bit inconsistent at times. And I think I think North Watchers is. I think they're gonna get the W. It's hard to explain, but it's just. I gotta go with one upset at least, like one upset this week for one of my picks, and I think it's gonna be North Watchers.
Yeah, the reason I'm a little disappointed is I thought you were going to take Omega in this one, and I was picking. I was like, my upset of the week is North Watchers comes out and gets to 2-2 and beats Reddit Omega, and that I think that's unequivocally an upset. I think it would be a pretty big upset, but I think it's going to happen. North Watchers 2 weeks ago had two 11v11 triples. They've had quite a few 10v10s. I know the area they're kind of struggling is 10v11 and 11v10 dips, but I think they're kind of getting that sorted out. And with their 10v10 performance and their 10v10 and 11v11 performance, I think they're going to go ahead and get that done and just win this one.
Yeah.
All right. So, final matchup of the week, we have Reddit Alchemy and WHF. WHF came off of a I think a lot of people were a little shocked by this one in a 1-star loss to Kcha. Reddit Alchemy kind of let me down a little bit, not with a 1-star loss to Emphatic Elite, and I thought they were my upset pick of the week last week. Do you want to finish this one, or?
Yeah. Okay. This is another tough pick, I think. Both clans, I think, aren't definitely not doing as well as they probably wish they would be doing. I think I'm gonna go with WHF. I think it's gonna be a close war. But I just have a little bit more confidence in WHF. I think even though they lost last week, I think I've been at least. I mean, I really don't know anything about Reddit Omega, and how they've been doing.
You mean Reddit Alchemy?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, getting them mixed up now. Clearly don't know, but yeah, I just haven't seen Reddit Alchemy do that much this season, and I think WHF at least is still a really strong clan, even though their record may not reflect that. Because coming into the season, before the season started, they were doing really well. So I think WHF kind of turns it around a little bit, goes to 2-2. And I don't think Reddit Alchemy is going to get it this week. So
I agree. I think WHF figures it out, gets a win this week. Their base building is very, very good. I've seen them a couple weeks ago when Swarm faced them, and their attacks were pretty decent. Score was a little bit misleading in the time we faced them. They had 2 10 bases that came close to tripling but couldn't get done. I think they figure it out this week. They've definitely reloaded, and I was a little bit shocked at the loss to Kcha, but I think they're just a clan that's kind of a step above where Reddit Alchemy is at this moment. So I think that WHF will take this one and get a W going into this weekend, into this bye week. Okay, so I'll go. Okay, so I'll go ahead and throw up our picks. Kwei, is there anything you want to shout out or say before we sign off here?
Just thanks for having me on. It's been a lot of fun. I thought the picks this week were a lot harder than I originally thought. I didn't see the full schedule about every matchup, but I feel like all but a couple wars were, the vast majority of the wars were really, really tough picks. I feel like that's kind of just what happens with the Invite League this season. Every clan is really good.
Yeah.
Any given Sunday, but I think there's going to be some good wars, and then otherwise, just shout out to OneHive. I think it's going to be a tough war against Emphatic Elite this week, but hopefully we come out with that win, bounce back. So
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think you guys will do that. Thanks again for coming on. I greatly appreciated it. Hopefully, you can put up a much better performance than Brady in this one. I certainly hope at least one of your picks are right. I'll let you guys figure out which one that is.
yeah.
But thanks again, and till next time, guys. See ya.